Hello everybody, this is D King Bay, your book granny here with the BookTube Newbie Tag. Yeah, I saw it online. I'm like, well, let me see what this is about. And they have like this list of questions. Now, granted, I started my channel back in May. So I'm a little bit late getting on, but I just now discovered it. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go ahead and put a video together and introduce myself. So that's what's going on. That's the shenanigans we're gonna get into today. So let me go on and read these here questions. So bear with me here, okay? Why did you start this channel? That is an excellent question. You see, what had happened was I was chilling, minding my own book granny business, reading and thinking about my daughter's wedding that had just occurred a few weeks prior. Of course, the king and I attended, but you know how royal weddings are. Everyone from fae and fairy folk to Chewbacca's nephew and the Mad Hatter's sister were there. Anywho, my best gal pal, let's call her Angel, interrupted my piece saying I should create a BookTube channel. I had no idea what she was talking about. BookTube? You see, I'm not a big social media person, so I had no idea there was such a thing. She sent me a few videos and I was like, hey, those are my people. Next thing you know, Book Granny was born. That's my story and I'm sticking to it. What are some fun and unique things you can bring to YouTube? I don't know, y'all. I'm thinking myself, I don't know. These pages we're all about books. We love the books. So I don't know. The only unique thing, I guess, is myself. I'm me. I'm 100% me, so yeah. What are you most excited about the channel? I will say that I get to be me and all of my me-ness. I like to have fun. So there's no telling what you will see or what I will do. It's just, there's no telling. There is literally no telling what you're going to see on this here channel. Depends on what mood I'm in. So this is going to be fun. What book or series got you into reading? I'm going to have to go way back to when I was a little kid. There was this book called Lambert the Sheepish Lion. I used to be read to, and now I just love to read. Even when I was in school, they used to assign us books like Fahrenheit 451, which is actually one of my all-time favorite books still. I like those books that they assigned to us. And then my sister and introduced me things to like fantasy. The Fire Rose is my all-time favorite fantasy book. Well, I can't say that's between The Fire Rose and Villains by Necessity, but Fire Rose is the first one that I really fell in love with. It's a retelling of like a Beauty and the Beast type thing, and I love those type of stories. And then I love historicals and I love romance, and Beverly Jenkins writes historical romance with Black characters, and this is many years ago, and I'm reading these books. I'm like, wow, I didn't even know we were in those type of books, and they don't make us look like the downtrodden all the time. So, I mean, I just read everything of hers, so I actually love all the genres just about. I'll tell you which ones I don't like later on. What questions would you ask your favorite booktuber? I'm thinking, what do you wish you had done differently? And what would you definitely not get rid of? What challenge do you believe starting a BookTube channel would be the hardest to overcome? I'm going to say keeping the excitement, the fun, the pleasure of reading. I mean, it's fun. I always want it to be fun. I don't ever want it to feel like work. And if this ever, reading, because this book channel is on reading, if it ever becomes like, oh, I feel like I have to work or I got to do this, I'm just not going to do the channel anymore because I'm not going to give up my reading. So keeping it so that it doesn't become a job for me is going to be the hardest part. So, well, I won't really say it's hard because like I said, if I don't like doing it, I'm just going to stop. I'll be honest with you. I'll just stop doing it because I'm not going to take my reading from me. I love it too much to do that to myself. When did you start reading? That's a good one. Going back to Lambert the Sheepish Lion, I'm actually dyslexic. So this is a long story. So I'm dyslexic. So when I was a child, my mom read to me, like many parents do. And, by the time I was like 3-4 years old, I knew all the books by heart. Now, I didn't know I was doing this. I didn't know I was doing this. So, she used to put her finger under the words so I, know what the words were. So I'm going up here thinking I'm reading, and this is with all my little books, not just Lambert. So I'm going through reading these books thinking I'm reading, but I was not actually reading. I just thought that was how you read. So I knew the correct flow, to go with these things. Because like I said, I loved these books. I love reading. So then when I get into school, I couldn't read. I'm dyslexic. And the school didn't identify my dyslexia. Instead, they was like, oh, she's just a trouble child, this, that, or the other. And they literally put me out in the hallway, with a tape recorder and these little books of the alphabet. It's crazy. These books of the alphabet, not being there in the hallway. And like I said, I was like, this is like a little kindergartner, first grader. I was a little kid. And to me, I had no problem with it. I'm like, ooh, freedom! Up under our school, it was a real old school. My grandmother had gone there. I mean, it's a really old school. And up under it, there were these tunnels. And I don't know what they were for. We used to pretend like they were like World War II tunnels and things like that. But anywho, so I would go try to sneak to get up to under the tunnels. They were probably actually for storms because we have like I come from Illinois, central Illinois, so they have all these tornadoes and things. I don't know what the tunnels are for, but I go exploring up down to those tunnels. I know a lot of people were scared, but to me, that was an adventure. I'm going on these adventures. I'd have a good time. I'd be gone for hours. This is how terrible my teachers were. I know, this is terrible. I would be gone for hours, literally hours. I go up, get under those tunnels. I go visit my sister, my older sister, who was in other classes. I mean, I'd be all over that school, and they just let me, I don't know why they let me do that, but they just let me go over where I wanted. I am not kidding. This is serious stuff. So I didn't know I couldn't read. I didn't understand, okay, they shouldn't really be putting you out in this hallway. So my mom didn't find this out until I was in 3rd grade, y'all, because they just kept passing me along. So we moved around the end of my 3rd grade year or something like that. And I went to a new school, 4th grade. And Mrs. Henderson, she's like, this child can't read. And my mom's like, of course she can read. And she's like, no, she cannot. And they did all these little tests, and that's when they found out that I'm dyslexic. And she's like, she can't read. So Mrs. Henderson, who I absolutely love, she's my favorite teacher, she started teaching me how to read. They, like I said, they identify I'm dyslexic. The people at the other school, my mom had a fit. I mean, a fit, because by the way, she used to go to school and volunteer. Of course, you couldn't volunteer in your own child's classrooms. So she was teaching other kids how to read and stuff. So, she was really pissed when she found out. But anyway, that's a whole nother story. So anyway, so Miss Henderson, she was really great. She had other kids work with me during class time. I'd stay in the class so I could get caught up to where the other kids were. At the other school, when my mom was having a heart attack over there, they were like, oh, she can't learn how to read because she's dyslexic, this, that, and the other. Y'all, racism is alive and well. Was it back then? It's still around. People don't want to admit it, but it's there. So that's why they had treated me that way as opposed to the other children in the school that had the same type of disabilities as me, but they, had things that they could do, right? But anyway, we're going to leave that alone. So anyway, Mrs. Henderson, who I credit with, finding out what was going on, and she actually cared. And from then on, I just kept on reading. And I learned the proper way to read instead of just dictating stories I had heard. So that is that. So I have been a reader since before I knew how to read. Not only am I a reader, I'm a storyteller. So I've always told stories. Oh man, we had some good stories. We had so many adventures. I mean, y'all, I was a pirate. Okay. I was a detective. Oh my goodness. The good old days. I feel bad for my grandbabies because they don't seem to have as much fun as we had. Ooh, me and my brother, there was this house around the corner from us. No, from my grandmama's house. That was an abandoned house. Oh, if y'all could just see the things I'm seeing in my head right now. Goodness. But anyway, let me go on. Let me get to this next question. We ain't never going to get up out of here, okay? So let's see what up is next. Where do you read? Where do I read? I think a better question is, where don't I read? There's only one place I can think of that I don't read, and that's the bathroom. Anywhere else is fair game. Yes, yes. Because and when I read, I have Kindle, I have my books, and I do audio. I buy all three so that no matter where I am, I have my book. So if I'm walking the dogs, I'm listening to a book. If I'm washing the dishes, I'm listening to a book. If I'm laying in bed relaxing, I'm reading a book. If I'm in my chair, I'm reading the book. My electronic books are for when it's dark, of course. So yeah, there is nowhere that I don't have a book. So that's it. Just only the bathroom. That's it. What kind of books do you like to read? I like all of them except horror. I do not want to be scared. Don't be scaring me. I don't understand wanting to be scared. I don't find that fun, but I do love everything. My favorite are fantasy. I love sci-fi. I love romance. It doesn't have to be a deep romance. You know what I'm saying? I'm fine with sweet romance. You know what I'm saying? I like cozy mysteries. I like murder mystery. I like historical books. I like contemporary fiction. I like it all. Yeah, pretty much everything. Well, that's not true. I'm not a big fan of literature. You know, I find it kind of boring. Yeah, so that and horror. Horror, I don't want that either. What does your book collection look like? There you go. Now, I will say I've restarted my collection. I started it back in, when did I start this? Oh, back in May when I started the channel. I started the collection. And before that, I used to have a book collection. I wouldn't really call it a book collection. It's just that I read a lot. So this is years and years ago, before I stopped reading print books. I literally gave away thousands of books because it was just, you know how it is as readers. We have thousands, hundreds upon hundreds, I don't say, of books. So of course I had thousands because I worked in the publishing industry also. So I mean, I had so many books and I gave them away. And then as my vision got worse, I quit buying physical books. I was like, you know what? It hurt my heart to have to give away all those books. And I said, I'm not buying any more print books. One, I can't read them because the font's too small. And number two, it take up too much room. I'm not going to do that anymore. And then when my friend told me about these limited and special editions with the sprayed edges, and she said a lot of times they are thicker in width than they need to be because to accommodate for the artwork on them, they make the font bigger, the page, it has more pages in it so that your artwork is real nice on the side. So, oh, that's nice. So the words are actually big enough for me to read so I can get print books again. And I prefer reading print over electronics. So that's my book collection. So it's not that big right now. I have this shelf. I have another shelf up front. And I just like kind of switch out the books a little bit. I like these color. Not all my books are limited edition, of course. I do have some that aren't, which is fine. So yeah, but right now, since I found out about this limited edition thing, I am on it. Yep. So that is it. That's a little bit about myself. So let's talk about what I do on my channel, okay? I do book reviews. I do box unhaulings. We do book discussions. Now, we just started the discussion thing, so I don't know how long that's going to go. As long as people want to keep doing it, I do take suggestions. So if somebody wants to do something, like for instance, the book discussion, that was a suggestion, so started doing it. Let's see, discussions. What else do we do? Oh, book battles. Those are my favorite. I love doing the book battles. That's quite fun. That's where a lot of times I don't buy these only because I like them. I buy them for art's sake too. So I have more than one copy of a book. So I do book battles, challenge each other so you can see what they are. So if you want to get one, you know which one you want to get. Let's see, what else do I do? Just whatever suits me at the time. Who knows? Let's see. Oh, I do rearranging the bookshelf, that kind of thing. So I just have fun. I don't know. I like books. I like big books that I cannot buy. You other readers can't deny. Yeah, I do like reading. So that is that. Thank you very much. And I hope you tune in. Make sure you subscribe and like and tell everybody about it before you leave. Bye-bye.